Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Thanks for tuning in again. Today we are going to be doing the fuel economy test on our 2023 Frontier Pro-4x here. I have a few things ordered that is going to change some of that. You know, if you add some heavier bumpers or bigger tires and a lift and stuff like that, it kills your gas mileage. So I want to test it on my stock, or mostly stock. It does have some side steps and a tonneau cover. Other than that, other than a few decals and stickers and stuff here and there, nothing that's going to change fuel economy. But I want to get this out there so then when I have this thing built up eventually and we come to that point, I can do another video like this and we can test stock versus lifted and so forth and see exactly what we actually lose, making our trucks look better and run better and just overall be better, especially if you're going off-road. A lot of us guys are looking at lifts, bigger tires, like I said, steel bumpers, winch, all that stuff you can add on here, roof racks. It's almost endless, but just to test that out, I'm going to go and do a test as of now. So the fuel light is on. We're going to go to the gas station, fill it up, see exactly what it takes. So for you guys that just want to know how much it takes to fill the truck, you can see that. I'll go through my week. I'm not going to just drive around and fill this thing up again. I'm going to drive around for the entire week as normal. It's a little bit of city, a little bit of highway. So mix and match, it'll be all right. Average, I would say, for most of us out there. If you live in a flat area or you do a lot of highway driving, it'll be a little better than what I have. And if you live in a hilly area or maybe you go off-road a lot, or like I said, you're already lifted, it'll be dropped a little bit. So like I said, I'll do this video over the week and fill up again when we're done and we'll calculate it all. I'm up in Canada. The truck will show liters per 100 kilometers, so I'll do that, but we'll also calculate miles per gallon at the end of the video. So no matter where you are watching this video, hopefully it helps you out. All right, so I'm back home in the garage. I didn't film this in the parking lot there because it was so busy, but you can see I've driven, I leave this on trip A for this test. I've driven almost 20 kilometers between the gas station and home. We are right full. This showed 661 originally when I first started the truck after I filled up. We're down to 642. Again, do not go off of that number. That bases off of average of how you drive. It recalculates all the time. Definitely not anywhere near accurate. There's no way you're getting anywhere close to 642 kilometers out of this tank, but that's what pops up. So again, don't go off of that. Go off your trip, calculate it at the end when you refill, and you'll get a real number. The other thing this truck does is if we were to turn it off now, you can see it gives you an eco drive report. It said on our last trip coming home here, I got 11.4 liters per 100K. And it's usually around there. It's between 10 and 16, give or take, depending where I'm driving and how fast I'm driving. You can see the best I've got is 9. And then a couple are way up there. And that is when I take my kid to school. That's because it's basically out of the garage, back down into the garage, and it's just straight uphill to the school. So that is, sometimes it's showing like 40 plus. Again, don't go off of that. It's just another feature they have in this truck. All right, now if you're wondering how much it takes to fill this truck, you can see I put in 61.5 liters, cost me $108, just over 108 bucks. It's pretty pricey right now. Our gas went up again, $1.75.9. That's not per gallon, that is per liter. I believe $1.75 is somewhere around $6.50 or $7 range per gallon. So it's a little bit ridiculous, but it is what it is. Got to pay it if you want to drive, unfortunately. But for now, if you're filling up for $1.75, we were pretty much empty. By the time I got there, I was down to what the truck said, 99 kilometers to empty. So that's pretty much right under the red. Right when you hit the red, your light comes on for the fuel. And just for a little reference along the way, in case you guys are wondering, we are now just slightly over a quarter tank used up. And you can see we've gone 147.3 kilometers so far. So the tank doesn't empty exactly evenly. So your first quarter tank, around 147K. Little less because it is slightly past the quarter mark. Alright, so as you guys can see, we're just slightly under half a tank now, and trip A is showing 255.1. That's same driving as I've been doing, so roughly that's what you're looking at. Alright, so we just happened to pull into the garage here and the fuel light has finally popped on. You can see this time it says 117 kilometers to empty. We're at 405.5, you might as well say, kilometers on this tank. And that is just when the needle starts to hit the red on your fuel gauge there. So like I said, the actual kilometers to empty up top goes off of how you're driving. I was driving a little harder right now, so that's why it is telling me at a higher kilometer to empty that I'm going to be low on fuel, because if I drive like this and it's at the red line, that's where it starts to warn you and say, hey, start thinking about fuel. Whereas if I was driving around nicely for the whole time, it might drop down, like the first time was around 90, I believe. And you can see once we shut her off, I am up to 11.9. We were coasting downhill for the last little bit, so it upped it. But you can see the couple last go and stops here have been well above that if you want to go off of what the truck is telling us. So as of now, we will go back to the gas station when I get a chance, fill up, and see exactly what mileage this thing gets. Alright, so we are back home, the truck is filled up, and this is about a little over a week. I didn't do too much driving this week, actually. I had a few days off of work, so it lasted a little longer than it usually does. You can see in the last clip we did 425.6 kilometers. If you convert that to miles, for you miles per gallon, or miles guys, it is 264 miles. So we went 264 miles, or 425 kilometers. And originally we filled up for $1.75 per liter. We put in 61 liters, 61 and a half. Cost us $108. Gas was $1.75 at the time. Gas has gone way up and it's actually come back down. We were close to $2 a liter again there for a couple days. But today is $1.81, and you can see $1.81, we put in a little less, 60.2 liters this time, for $109.65. So usually this lasts me about a week. Like I said, this was a little more. We filled up on the 21st of May. We are now on the 3rd of June. So a little over a week, and we are back to fill up. So now if we calculate this out, we'll see exactly how she did. All right, now to calculate the liters, for us liters guys first, you go 60 point, it was 2.8, so let's go 60.3 liters. We do it by 100K, so times 100 kilometers. You come out to 6,030, and then you divide it by the distance we traveled. So 425.6, and that gives us 14.1, almost 14.2 liters per 100 kilometers. And now, keep in mind, that is city highway, mostly city. Like I said, I had a few days off. I also live on a hill. You can see I actually roll into my garage from the road out there, but this side of my garage is actually underground. So out here is a big hill. You go up straight up a hill, so pretty much whenever I leave, cold, warm, whatever, straight up a hill first. Also, it's been fairly warm the last few days here. So windows have been down some days, AC's cranked on the really warm days. All that stuff eats up at your miles per gallon or liters per 100 as well. So keep in mind, if you're somewhere not like me, maybe you can just drive as is with just the cold air blowing. You don't have to keep the windows down or anything like that. You might gain a little bit. And then of course, if you're just highway driving, you're gonna gain a lot. And I can tell that just by me driving on the highway, that it is way, way better fuel mileage just highway driving. But like I said, most people don't live on the highway, we live in the cities. So I figured this is a good test. But now if we want to calculate what 14.1 liters per 100K is, let's bust out Google. And according to Google here, 14.1 liters per 100K is 16.68, so almost 16.7 miles per gallon, which again, I believe this thing is rated for 18, but like I said, air conditioning's on, windows are down. I don't drive like a puss, but as of now, 16.5 you might as well say, or 14 liters per 100K. 16.5 miles per gallon is what you can ballpark if you're driving this daily like I do. If you want to get good gas mileage and you're on the highway, try to keep it between 1500 and 2000 RPM. Seems to be the sweet spot for this truck, and you should have no problem getting over 20 plus miles per gallon, especially if you're just cruising highway alone. So there you have it, guys, a little test. Hopefully, like I said, I try to do this. This is over a whole week, so I'm gonna say this is the most real world city kind of highway mix driving you can get. And if you want to know the truck inside, I forgot to film it. I didn't mention it earlier. It was averaging 13.8 is what the truck was telling me I was averaging. That's liters per 100K. So 13.8 to 14.1, that part is relatively close. But again, every time you turn off the vehicle, it'll reset that portion. But if you go into the actual fuel mileage setting in there, it has a spot that doesn't reset. It only resets if you go in there and hold enter. It'll reset it that way. So if you want to know what you're actually getting, like I said, the truck showed 13.8. We were getting 14.1. So that's pretty accurate. The rest that you've seen throughout the video, not so much. Like I said, originally when we filled up, it was showing 600 plus kilometers to empty. You can see, of course, we weren't quite too empty, but we're 425. I'd say maybe you'll get another 50, 60 out of there. So you could be in the 500, maybe close to 550 if you're on the highway range. But as of 600, not a chance unless you're going downhill the whole way. So that'll about do it for this video, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed. I will try to get a strict highway driving one like I did this. I'm gonna go just solid highway before the mods for the truck come, because like I said, it's gonna get heavier. And then we'll have to redo this all over. If you guys want to know what a modded Frontier gets on the highway and everything like that, I'll redo this video once the truck is built and we got most of the stuff that'll affect that on the truck. Then we'll go over it again, make it all work, and you guys can kind of ballpark whether you want to do the same to your truck or if it's not worth it. Because some people are areas like me where the fuel is extremely expensive, is what it is. We got to pay to play, whatever. But if you don't want to pay to play, maybe you want to save a few bucks. You got truck payments, you got fuel payments, everyone's got payments. You might want to save a few dollars here and there. So hopefully these videos help you out. Like I said, leave a thumbs up and subscribe so you don't miss those videos. And hopefully we catch you in the next one. Thanks for watching, everybody.